Hi everybody, this is the first video explaining how to interpret your feedback report for the ESCI. So the example that I'm showing here is a sample client, so it's not a real person. Your report should look just the same. So in this video, we're going to do introduction through data validity. So to start out, there's an explanation about emotional intelligence, which you all are familiar with. This specific model shows you all the information about emotional intelligence that you're going to get. So you're going to get scores on self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management for both you and your raters, the average score. And you're going to get feedback and scores on each of the individual competencies within those 4 categories. So the idea here with emotional intelligence is that, first of all, you're aware of your own emotions and you're able to manage those, whether that means to motivate yourself or to stop your behavior or display the behavior that you want others to see. Once you know yourself and you can manage yourself, then you can start working with others, being aware of their emotions and reactions. So at the individual level, this is empathy. At the organizational level, there's an awareness component as well. And then finally, kind of ultimately, relationship management. So this is using your personal self-awareness and being able to manage yourself, being aware of what others are feeling, and then using all of that information to develop effective relationships. So that's the ultimate goal. Okay, so as you go to interpret the results, okay, so there's a lot of information on this page. This is a sample for us to take a look at. So you see here a list of the competencies. So the categories, the 4 categories that we just looked at. And then within each category, if there are specific competencies, you'll see that information. So here, the blue bar is everybody else. So again, because we're doing the university version, you had to put all of your raters in one category. So some of these results are going to look the same because of the university edition that we're using. And we're using that because it's much cheaper than the other version. So for emotional self-awareness, the others rated Lee, who is our sample here. How often does he demonstrate emotional self-awareness? They are saying on average often. So consistently, sometimes, rarely, or never. So how consistent are you in demonstrating these competencies? The others that rated Lee said a little beyond often. The self, so Lee rated him or herself as a little bit above what others did. And then the box here you can see is the norm group, which down here it shows you that it is a database of about almost 80,000 people. Okay, so the comparison is to that norm group and not to the people in your class. Okay, so interpreting the detail. Okay, then we get down into the specifics on each of the categories, which again, in your case, we only have total others and self. So you won't have these other categories. So it's just going to be looking at those results in a different way. And the last piece of kind of the starting point here is the data validity. And this is going to be different for each of you depending on how many people rated you. So this page is going to show the surveys that were distributed, the people that you put down that you wanted surveys to send to. It's also going to tell you how many surveys you received, but you will not know which of these people rated you because they're all in the same category. And everybody has at least 3, so you're going to get some results. So the validity you have is based on everybody that you sent out, but you don't know how many of them responded. Again, related to validity, we had some raters that the data couldn't be used, and it may be because they were not familiar enough with the areas, or well, you wouldn't get rid of them because of agreement. So it gives you information on how what level of agreement there was in raters. You're only going to have one of these, and how familiar the group said they were. So a rater might have completed the evaluation but had to be dropped because they didn't answer enough questions or they were not familiar enough with you to rate you on the different items. Okay, so come back for the next video and we'll talk about the actual